to present a poem. What shall I do?
What will you do? Is this a question? Show that you know the poem and remind them what a poem it is. Well, you know what you must do. Go, confront the problem, fight, win, and call me when you get back, darling. I enjoy our visits.
Welcome to the Poetry Dojo,
where we learn to know our poems.
and learn to wield them to fight and win.
Today we are considering Macavity, the Mystery Cat by T.S. Eliot.
Macavity the Mystery Cat was published with Old Possum's Book of Practical Cats back in 1939, it being written by T.S. Eliot. Do you know much of T.S. Eliot?
I very much enjoy T.S. Eliot. He was not a Christian and had a successful career as a poet, I suppose. I don't know if poets have careers as poets per se. I don't know that he might have had a day job. I'm not sure. But he converted at some point during his life as a poet and wrote more poetry after. So it's very interesting to see the continuity between his work before and work after and the ways that they relate to each other. Probably the best pair of works to look at for that is The Wasteland and The Four Quartets.
Oh.
They just contrast beautifully and speak to each other in a very interesting way.
Well, I'm looking forward to when we encounter The Wasteland.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the poem we're considering today is Macavity, the Mystery Cat. This is, as I said, it comes from the cats.
The cat poems.
The cat poems. Macavity is his distinct villain, patterned after Moriarty. In fact, so much patterned after Moriarty, he stole a lot of the descriptions straight from Doyle.
That is so funny.
There's a physical description in the poem that describes how his head moves like a snake, the shape of his skull, and his form and height. And these are all pretty much quotes from The Adventure of the Final Problem by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, wherein I think it's the first death of Sherlock Holmes.
The one that he meant to have stick.
Yeah, he was done writing. He was done writing the character, and so introduced Moriarty and had him take Moriarty down and said, "Ha, I'm done." And then had regrets later when people said, "No, you are not done." In any case, Macavity is meant to reflect a feline Moriarty. And if you have any familiarity with Moriarty, when you read the poem, you will hear Doyle describing his arch villain that has been used in so many movies. Macavity, the Mystery Cat by T.S. Eliot. Macavity's a mystery cat. He's called the Hidden Paw. For he's the master criminal who can defy the law. He's the bafflement of Scotland Yard, the flying squad's despair. For when they reach the scene of crime, Macavity's not there. Macavity. There's no one like Macavity. He's broken every human law. He breaks the law of gravity. His powers of levitation would make a faker stare. And when you reach the scene of crime, Macavity's not there. You may seek him in the basement. You may look up in the air. But I tell you once, and once again, Macavity's not there. Macavity's a ginger cat. He's very tall and thin. You would know him if you saw him, for his eyes are sunken in. His brow is deeply lined with thought. His head is highly domed. His coat is dusty from neglect. His whiskers are uncombed. He sways his head from side to side with movements like a snake. And when you think he's half asleep, he's always wide awake. Macavity. There's no one like Macavity, for he's a fiend in feline shape, a monster of depravity. You may meet him in a by-street, you may see him in the square. But when a crime's discovered, then Macavity's not there. He's outwardly respectable. They say he cheats at cards. And his footprints are not found in any file of Scotland Yard's. When the larder's looted, or the jewel case is rifled, or when the milk is missing, or another peak's been stifled, or the greenhouse glass is broken, and the trellis past repair, aye, there's the wonder of the thing. Macavity's not there. And when the Foreign Office find a treaty's gone astray, or the Admiralty lose some plans and drawings, by the way, there may be a scrap of paper in the hall or on the stair, but it's useless to investigate. Macavity's not there. And when the loss has been disclosed, the Secret Service say, it must have been Macavity. But he's a mile away. You'll be sure to find him resting or a licking of his thumbs, or engaged in doing complicated long division sums. Macavity. Macavity, there's no one like Macavity. There never was a cat of such deceitfulness and suavity. He always has an alibi, and one or two to spare, at whatever time the deed took place. Macavity wasn't there. And they say that all the cats whose wicked deeds are widely known, I might mention Mungo Jerry, I might mention Griddlebone, are nothing more than agents for the cat who all the time just controls their operations, the Napoleon of crime. Macavity, the Mystery Cat, by T.S. Eliot. This is meant to be a fun poem. I think it's sort of, in your mind, when you're delivering this poem, you should be standing in the middle of a room with a big map of London in the background and little red threads running from point A to point B all over the place, trying to connect the mysteries and the crimes and figure out a way to nail Macavity. The name itself gives the idea of void or absence. Mm-hmm. And in so doing is, in the good old English writing, tendency of naming your characters in some way that echoes their theme. He is the cat that's not there. Again, patterned after Moriarty of Sherlock Holmes fame. It is meant to be a fun poem. All the poems that appeared in Old Possum's Book of Cats, or I forget.
Practical Cats.
Practical Cats. That book was written, I think it's the only book that T.S. Eliot wrote specifically for a younger audience, aimed at like 11 to 12-year-olds. And so it's meant to be fun. And if you have fun doing it with a little sprinkle of righteous indignation, I think you will be able to capture the attention of the judges.
Yeah, T.S. Eliot was a crossover poet, not only in moving from non-Christian to Christian, but also he crossed the Atlantic. He was born in the United States, and I believe he became a British citizen. So there's a quality of the rhythm of the words that lends itself to an English accent, but can go either way, which I feel like is a nice nod if you can pull that off.
For American speakers, we are used to using plural nouns with bodies, with groups, or actually we're used to using singular verbs with singular groups. However, in the poem and in the British, the plural goes. So the Foreign Office find a treaty. The Foreign Office, they find a treaty. The Admiralty, they lose some plans. Don't trip over the unexpected plural of the verb when you are charging through those particular lines.
Yeah, we would expect the office to be singular, but it's plural.
The office finds, the Admiralty loses.
Yeah. It's very bouncy. It's hard not to be sing-songy. You can understand why they made a musical out of this, however poorly advised that might have been.
Yeah, at least poorly delivered. There is the danger of being sing-song. Resist it.
Yes.
Find ways that The only suggestion I have on that is find ways that the logical flow of what you're saying comes to a conclusion in the middle of a line, not at the end. Otherwise, you're going to be just bouncing from end of line to end of line. And that diminishes the fun because people don't like sing-song.
It gets boring. The rhythm is too repetitive. Another thing you can do is think about each sentence, even each line singularly, and really identify which accented words are the most important and deliver one that is appropriate to the meaning, rather than emphasizing every accented word equally.
In those places where you want to land, remember your consonants and give them time to breathe so that people know this is important to think about.
Thank you for tuning in. This has been a Diecast Media Group production. Please recommend us to friends, family, relations, but not your competitors. Feel free to email us with questions at poetrydojo@diecastmediagroup.com. Tune in next time for another exciting episode and another fine poem.